Think for a moment about the time when you see a woman who is close to giving birth. You feel happy. After all, a new life is about to enter the world. And the truth is, at that moment, most of us do not spend much time thinking that something serious could happen to the mother or the baby during childbirth, because we believe everything will be fine, because we have hospitals, we have doctors, we have modern medicine, and we even have machines that can show us the baby growing inside the womb. But what if none of these things existed? Let's travel thousands of years back to the ancient world, a world with no hospitals, no doctors, no modern medicine, and no machines that could see the life growing inside the mother's body. In those days, pregnancy was not only a sign of new life, it was also the beginning of a fight between life and death. Every pregnancy could become a woman's last. Today, we are going to look at a part of history that people often forget. We will learn about the hard and heartbreaking reality that millions of women faced for thousands of years. What was giving birth really like in the ancient world? Today, we will discover the surprising truth about how women lived under the fear of death with every pregnancy, and how they still found the strength to keep life moving forward. Today, it is rare to hear that a young and healthy woman died during childbirth. In most parts of the world, it does not happen often. It is not impossible, but it is very uncommon. But according to historians and researchers, in the ancient world, about 5 out of every 100 women died during pregnancy, childbirth, or soon after giving birth. That was normal at the time. That was reality. Women lived with this danger throughout their lives. And the most heartbreaking part is that they knew about this risk. They knew that every pregnancy could be their last. And still they went through it. They gave birth. They built families. And they kept life going. This was not weakness. It was a kind of courage that many of us may never fully understand. So, what made childbirth so dangerous? What were the problems that took the lives of so many women for thousands of years? There were several major dangers. And interestingly, some of these dangers still affect women in poor areas of the world today. The first danger was heavy bleeding. After childbirth, the body needs to stop bleeding quickly. Today, doctors can give medicine, perform surgery, and provide blood transfusions. But in the ancient world, none of these things were available. If a woman lost too much blood, she slowly became weaker and often died. And there was usually nothing anyone could do to save her. The second danger was infection. After giving birth, the body becomes very open to infection. Today, this condition is called postpartum sepsis. People in ancient times knew nothing about bacteria or germs. Midwives and helpers used the tools they had, but they had no effective way to make them completely clean. As a result, infections were common. Some women survived childbirth but died a few days later because of infection, and nobody knew why it happened. The third danger was difficult labor. Sometimes the baby could not come out. Maybe the baby was in the wrong position. Maybe the mother's body was too small. Today, a cesarean section can solve this problem in less than an hour. But in ancient times, this situation could become a terrible nightmare. But this raises an important question. With so many dangers and no modern medicine, how did people try to protect mothers and babies? Who did they depend on? The answer is simple: midwives. Midwives were experienced women who cared for pregnant mothers and helped them during childbirth. For many centuries, they played one of the most important roles in bringing new life into the world. And if you imagine them as uneducated or unskilled women, think again. Many ancient midwives were highly respected and very experienced. In ancient Egypt, Greece, and Rome, being a midwife was an important profession. They knew about herbs and natural treatments. They knew how to try to turn the baby if its position was wrong. They helped women sit, kneel, or use special birth chairs to make labor easier. Ancient birth chairs found in Egypt show that these methods were widely used. They used oils, including olive oil, to help make delivery easier. They provided warmth, gentle touch, and breathing support. And emotionally, they were everything. They held the mother's hand. They encouraged her. They prayed with her. Because there were no pain medicines, no oxygen, and none of the medical tools we have today. In those moments, a calm and experienced midwife was often the greatest hope in the room. but even their skills had limits. And when those limits were reached, ancient people faced choices that are hard for us to imagine today. What happened when childbirth became impossible? Ancient writings, including the book Gynecology by Soranus, describe methods used in desperate situations to save the mother's life. If the baby had already died in the womb, or if there was no other option left, ancient doctors sometimes used painful operations in an attempt to save the mother. These decisions were never easy. They were always the last choice. And sadly, even then, the mother often did not survive. Archaeologists have discovered graves where pregnant women were buried with their babies. In some cases, the unborn baby was still inside the mother's body. This is known as a coffin birth. It can happen after death because of gases that build up inside the body. These graves are silent reminders of the sadness that families experienced thousands of years ago. One thing touches the heart. Ancient people understood very well that childbirth was dangerous. They knew that sometimes the mother, the baby, or both could die. And because they had no modern medicine, people looked for hope through prayers, beliefs, and traditions. In ancient Egypt, many women asked the goddess Tauret for protection. They wore amulets and kept images of her in their homes. Archaeologists have found many of these objects, showing how deeply mothers wanted safety for themselves and their children. In ancient Rome, some women prayed to Juno Lucina. In Mesopotamia, people used charms to protect themselves from a spirit called Lamashtu. All of this tells us something important. When life is in danger, people naturally search for hope and comfort. And perhaps that is why even today, many families pray for the safety of mothers and babies during childbirth. Because when a life is at stake, people naturally look for help and protection. Now, let us return to where we started. The next time you hear that someone is expecting a baby, and you feel comfort knowing that we have hospitals, doctors, ultrasound machines, and modern medicine, take a moment to appreciate these blessings. Because for thousands of years, women walked through this journey in darkness, both in a real sense and in a symbolic sense, by the light of fire, surrounded by other women, with only herbs, prayers, experience, and great courage to help them. They did not have the things we have today, but they had each other, and they did the best they could. Now, here is a question for you. If you had lived in that time, do you think you would have had the same courage? I often wonder about that. If you found this video meaningful, tell us in the comments which part surprised you the most. And if you enjoy true stories from ancient history, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, because that is what this channel is all about. Thank you very much for watching.